Uh, Hi guys, and we are live with Rob McCarty from Illist, one of the brightest minds behind Facebook AR initiatives like Spark project, now coming to the crypto industry, creating absolutely brilliant real-life NFT. And today we will discuss the opportunities with that type of NFT application to, let's say, expand our presence in real life and, let's say, make the industry way attractive and interesting for the future years and for the future projects. Hello. Could you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you just well. Yeah, thanks. That was a phenomenal intro there.
Thank you. Okay, could you explain to our audience, can you briefly describe what Illist is all about? How does it work?
Sure. Yeah, so Illust is a platform for creating and discovering different realities. These realities are built in the physical world through augmented reality and use Web3 tools to be able to foster and engage and be able to connect with the people who are publishing the experiences with those who are actually experiencing them in the real world.
Okay, what about sound? Rob, are you with me? Because it feels like something with the audio. I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, wonderful. Right now it's we have lost some of, let's say, your pitch, the end of your pitch.
All good. Do you want me to start from the top?
No. Okay. Let's move forward. Let's try to explain the products through let's say
sure.
real life cases. Let's just show us how the Illust could be applied and how it's already applied inside different crypto projects, why it's important and how it's working inside that projects, let's say, to drive that activity and engagement.
Sure. Yeah, so as I mentioned, Illust is able to curate these different reality channels. And so we work with different projects, publishers, musicians, creators, really of all different ilks and disciplines to create a reality channel where they're able to just deploy NFTs, experiences, and deploy like geofence check-ins, really for any manner of things. It's really an open protocol. So we've launched actually just recently. It's called Proof of Presence. And what a proof of presence is when someone goes to within a geofence that was created in one of these reality channels. If someone goes to that geofence and checks in, by them checking in at that location, it generates an on-chain proof that they were at that place in that time. And it's really great for people to be able to actually take that token and be able to, token gate a Discord channel or token gate a Shopify channel for merchandise, or really any manner of things that you can do from a token that defines that you did something or were at a certain place.
For example, visiting, let's say, YouTube, let's say, show or something, let's say, Beyond's show, and I'm willing to share that with my future generations. I'm just willing to, let's say, prove to some of my, let's say, grandchildren to that I was during that match, so that Super Bowl match. I'm just willing to show all of that to them, and I'm creating that, getting that unique NFT, and that NFT attached to my crypto wallet, and I could prove my presence during that one in a lifetime event for the fall of my life.
Exactly. And what's really fun about this is that it's kind of like a building block. Like, think of it as a Lego block where and this is where we have different partners that are using the system to come in and be able to deploy experiences. Is they're treating it like an ingredient. So if you go to this location and you do this thing, and you go to this other location and you do this other thing, then something will happen. It could be access to a mint list. It could be a special drop. It could be tickets to a show. Really, any number of things that you can add as the carrot on the other side. And we could take that to the nth degree and say, could be prize money, could be an award, could be a scholarship. But really, it's about being able to engage folks in the physical world, but do it through this digital metaverse that is being curated by these individual creators.
Yes, we will deep dive in that all of that metaverse, extended reality, let's say concept. But I will just also adding that beautiful point. It's like Pokemon Go on steroids for any project.
Yeah, high stakes Pokemon Go, if you will.
Yes. But it's a beautiful explainer because, for example, to create your own Pokemon Go, you need at least a couple months, and you need a unique team, and you need a lot of experience building mobile applications, also augmented reality applications. It's still very complicated. It's very expensive. I expect the budget for that type of project, like beginning from 100K. 100K, no less than 100K. If it's done in your place in California, it will be more than 200K or maybe 250K for that type of Pokemon Go. Let's say some sort of a loyalty app or whatever. But is it complicated to use your solution? Is it easy for any project? Let's say, for example, I have very successful NFT collection. Some of my friends have very beautiful project Beer Punk. And what about the Beer Punk? Could they just add the Beer Punk, some unique Beer Punks on some of locations on Earth? Like, for example, I know a wonderful pub somewhere in Ireland or whatever, and I'm willing to, let's say, distribute that very rare Beer Punk in that pub, just for the visitors of that pub, or any other secret place if they could find it as that secret place.
Exactly. So we're in the process of scaling the immersion factor of this kind of like alternative reality gaming side of it. Right now, the pops are visible, like the locations or the waypoints are visible. We can actually turn that off so that you actually have to find it, and there might be like a physical representation of the waypoint in the form of a QR code that would initiate the pop. And so you can get really creative with that. But some really basic fun experiences for any creator are, we've had art walks created with the platform. So basically, if you're a museum or you're a gallery or you're hosting friends for an event, you can be able to really quickly, in about 20 minutes or less, create a multi-piece art walk at your location. And then you could be able to instill this pop rewards as part of the check-in process for accomplishing the art walk. We've had a couple partners actually at NFT NYC utilize that technology, and actually really excited. They're going to be bringing this to actually a city in Colorado to set up an activation. I don't want to give too many details away because it hasn't been publicly announced, but it's going to be a public art installation using their reality channel for the city. And so we kind of see this as being the next evolution of local history, of archiving, because different cities, different organizations, municipalities can start archiving the history of the streets. I can start anchoring content. I'm over in Venice Beach, so I can start talking about the history of Venice and what the experiment that it was from Abbot Kinney, one of the founders, and really go into detail.
I like that idea. It's destination marketing. For example, visiting, let's say, Florence, or visiting some beautiful Italian city. I'm just willing to, let's say, prove that I was not just drinking young wine. I was actually visiting, let's say, Uffizi, another beautiful places like Santa Maria del Fiore, and I'm having all of that, let's say, accomplishments, like proof of presence. Actually visiting that city in terms of really visiting that city, not just visiting a couple some grocery shops and vineyards.
Exactly. Exactly. And again, it can even get more detailed than that. We have another project which we'll probably be announcing later next week. That's going to be doing essentially their whole Discord community is going to participate in this, where there's going to be 5 or 6 cities chosen. Each city will actually transmit a unique character as part of this password phrase, that password phrase is going to unlock a certain Discord channel in their community. And then if you get access and you use that specific code from accomplishing these 6 bits, and you have to collaborate with different cities, so different community members from, say, Sydney or from New York or wherever you might be, to actually finish the puzzle to then give the rest of the community the password to a special mint list. So
it is very beautiful, because as I already mentioned during our pre-interview, I was augmented reality, alternative reality games developer, like the game movie, and it feels like that type of challenges. I mean, these geo-specific tasks could, let's say, be wonderful application for that project. So it's also yours, also your projects. I mean, all of the Discord, let's say, authentication through NFT of Illust will be part of your team development, or it's side project.
Yeah, so this would be from they would basically, we will work with partners to help them token gate, and we'll do a lot of like white gloving for setting up these layers, setting up the campaign, setting up the activation. It's really quick for us. Like everything's pretty much in its place, and it'll get to a point where it's completely self-serve. But for right now, we're just doing a lot of testing and really seeing where people are getting the most excitement and the most engagement from the product. But we've got a lot of really positive early signs in setting these up, and some really fun content that's come out of it, and so it's really just the beginning.
By the way, we already have like 70,000 viewers online watching what we're doing here. So I hope we will create, let's say, some beautiful game together with Illust, just for our next, let's say, campaign. I mean, for our next, we have very beautiful extended reality metaverse game launching during the next months, and I hope to add that layer of Illust inside that game. The question is, what kind of wallets do anyone needs to, let's say, to actually collect all of that Illust NFTs? What type of NFTs are you using? What type of standard? Is it Ethereum based, near, or what?
Yeah. So we have a really great partnership with Magic Labs. And Magic Labs has essentially like a OAuth process where you could take a phone number, an email, and it'll auto-generate in like 2 clicks, more or less. It'll auto-generate a wallet for the user that's non-custodial. And so for someone that's not necessarily crypto native and doesn't know how to actually buy crypto and be able to populate a wallet, all of this is done for them in 2 clicks. And so it's all supported. So we're using Polygon as kind of the backbone of the system. Everything is airdropped. We eat the costs on that. We use Polygon as a partner for doing that, so that we could be able to do this at a higher level of scale and not break the bank. And all of the NFTs are airdropped. So the POP tokens are an ERC 721 token. So as soon as someone checks in at that location or accomplishes the task that generates the token, it's then airdropped into either that Magic wallet that I was just speaking about, or we have Wallet Connect too, so you can connect it with MetaMask or your other crypto wallets. So
if I'm having like Trust Wallet, one of the biggest, let's say, mobile wallets right now, and I could somehow mobile connect to, let's say, to Illust, and then collect that to my Polygon wallet on my Trust Wallet, inside my Trust Wallet.
Trust. I believe Trust is on Wallet Connect. So it would essentially log you right in, and then you'd be able to go through the browser experience on your mobile device and collect pops, and they'd be delivered to your Trust wallet.
Got it. And what's the user journey? How it's working? For example, let's say I'm hitting the club, and some let's say real life event, and I know that I could collect that unique proof of presence, unique let's say achievement proofing token. How it's working? What should I do? I'm standing here with my mobile device. What's my next step? How to, let's say, collect that NFT?
Sure, sure. So as soon as you get word that there might be a poppable experience, a pop spot, if you will, what you would do is you go to the application, you go to ar.illist.space. If once you go to the application, there's a map there's a public map, and then there's individual channel-based maps. So right now, the channel-based maps, those are all publicly available, but we're gonna go into a world where some of these channel-based maps are gonna be only for certain token holders. So you might have to have a Doodles to get into the Doodles world or the Doodles reality, or you might have to have, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, basically I would check where you're at. I would check through the different channels. I would see if there's any pop spots around those channels. And then once you go to that location, there'll be either an AR experience will render at that specific point that you had landed on, or B, the pop button will show up because the creator didn't necessarily deploy a specific content experience there, but they just wanted you to check in. And you would click the pop button. Once you click the pop button, then it'll generate a pop for your wallet.
So they just, let's say, get the GPS data from, let's say, my home browser, or let's say some sort of mobile. Is it a Google Play application? Is it Android-based application or iOS-based applications, or it's actually a web app and just on your page?
It is a web app on your mobile browser. So yeah, it has a lot of the look and feel of a native iOS or Android application. Yes, but it's with one click away using the browser.
It's immersive web app like that.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes, and wonderful experience. So I'm just let's say opening my browser, let's say with GPS on, and click the button, get that NFT to any Magic wallet or any wallet I have just connected to Illust web page to Wallet Connect, like Trust Wallet. Yes, got it. Get the story. Okay, what's the business model? Because it sounds beautiful, but we're willing you to survive with all of that beautiful.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. So do we. So yeah, we're going to be employing more or less like a Metaverse as a service business model, where any one of these reality channels, we're going to give a whole suite of different tools, from specialized minting to ticketing to really any marketplace contract, really any number of ways that you could be able to, as a single creator, be able to engage people in space. And we'll make a commission off of some of these contracts. And then we have some setup fees for some of the more immersive or engaged experiences. So that's kind of how we're looking at it. And we have some customers coming in the pipe for Q3 that we're kind of testing out the model in different ways. But yeah, that's the intention.
Because it feels like it's easy, let's say, to add you as a layer to some sort of ticketing, let's say, software. Because a lot of ticketing software in our time, having, let's say, app store, something ability, let's say, to connect with the ticketing solutions, and it feels like it's the easiest way for you, let's say, to jump in and get the millions and millions of users and some commissions and some generate some revenue. Because I like that idea of integration with through the platform, not just through the maybe you have beautiful let's say showcases like Elmas Land or any other projects, all of the galleries or some beautiful cities working with government, but still it feels like to make let's say to scale quickly, it's easy to just to connect with that let's say ticketing solution and get millions and millions and millions of people getting, because it feels like it just in my mind, but it feels like everybody will thinking about the same. Visiting the Super Bowl final, I'm willing to get that fucking NFT. I'm willing to just to get that proof of presence. It's something like that should happen for you. I hope you will have that moment when you, like, I mean, like, it could be like Miss Universe, or it could be like Super Bowl final, but you need that, let's say, superb event just to, let's say, connect with all of everybody, because it's it's already valuable because it's a paramount of what that type of NFT could do for, let's say, to inspire, let's say, to implement that in different type of events. Because I know a lot of guys like from let's say sports marketing, like even the guys behind the Red Bull, who is like just creating all of that wonderful, ingenious, let's say, even solutions like jump from the space, etc. So we have. It feels like that type of events should also jump in and try to, let's say, implement your solution during some of their promo. But I just like all of that. I hope to see you inside most of the loyalty apps, loyalty programs, building solutions, just to be part of that big beautiful world, and it feels like it should be done. What you are willing to add to all of that for our audience? Because we have a couple questions. We could discuss, let's say, our future cooperation, like let's say creating the game together for Elmas land, because we have that's some sort of preparedness game. We are actually willing to help people to gain some real life skills, helping them survive during the war, during any big crisis, or any serious event. But still, what could you add something else to what are you doing right now, just to explain better for our audience about that immersive, let's say, experience working with Illust NFT?
Sure, yeah. So art galleries are great because that's anyone that comes to a location and experiences the art. They can switch out what they're seeing as part of the exhibition, and then everyone that comes through gets a nice little pop memento as a token. We have events that so we have an event in London that's going to be using this with one of their brand partners to set up a check-in for their membership. And if you go to all 4 events and you get the different tokens at each 4 event, then it's going to be redeemable for special merchandise from the brand that's the big sponsor for them. We have another. So with street artists, we're going to be doing a really large AEG venue where there's going to be the ability to transition art from some of the murals into the venue, and anyone that's in the venue is able to actually see some of the art from the local community. But then there's this whole kind of arena of games that are literally built on top of this. And I think we haven't released this feature yet, and we're going to be testing it with the community, but we think it could be really fun to be able to create some sort of ticket into a game, and also have like permadeath if you actually don't complete the right tasks, where you have to potentially opt in again, and then it kind of builds a pot where if you actually collect all of the specific pops, and some of it might be hooked up to NLP, so you have to like whisper into your phone certain words to unlock a certain pop, or you might have to we could be able to also track, given that all of this is within kind of the computer vision libraries. We might be able to track if there's like an on collision for 15 seconds because someone punched in the right code or went around this AR maze, to then kind of do this like more rich and all-encompassing gamified experience that could have a prize money at the end of it.
Yes, it's a very interesting model. By the way, I'm just willing to add something to, let's say, that blockchain, let's say, zero trust, let's say, component to your project, because we still we are living in an era of digital soul, or of all of that, let's say, self-sovereign identity elements, and this decentralized reputation. And I'm willing, let's say, just for you and for your developers team to think about, let's say, ability to protect from because, for example, I have a rooted Android phone, and I could change my GPS locations right now. So I could get all of the pop-ups on your map, all of the NFTs right now in a matter of 10 minutes. So is it possible somehow, let's say to create that, let's say, maybe it will be just the right location, but also some actions inside that location, and only that generates that NFT for the end user.
Well, so we actually have a scale of confidence on this, like the spoofability of certain locations. Mm-hmm. We can increase the strength of that to 100% pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. So there are pops you can generate that would be that's kind of a part of this like metaverse as a service offering, is that we could actually make it so that these are battle tested, secure. There's like more or less the location authentication plus the actual physical scanning of something that's at the location. That's almost like a two-factor for verifying your pop.
Yes. Got it. Because I do not recall the name of the game, because the people, it's already let's say kind of decade on the market. It's a real life game where people searching for some things inside different locations. It's like I don't recall the name of that game, but millions of people playing that game all around the world. They have some sort of hidden things in the different locations, and they also scanning that code inside that location. That's how they're getting that proof for that for the game they actually was in that location. So it feels like I do realize that 90% of what we are doing right now is a fun. So we are creating that unique fun experience, ability for different products, create that immersive, let's say, augmented reality experience, or let's say merged reality experience for their product. But still, on the next step for you will be some sort of authentication, some sort of, let's say, blockchain based maybe credibility builder or whatever. It's in DNA of what blockchain is all about, and I hope the future steps will handle all of that complexity and somehow will be part of maybe multi-million, let's say, trading opportunity or whatever, because maybe some of the experience could be part of, let's say, because let's be honest, we know all of that NFT market, and the NFT market, like Bored Apes and all of that, it's already sometimes very serious transactions. That experience, that it's sometimes it's about something very valuable, and I hope for that type of projects you're ready to, let's say, to create that two-factor authorization, as you mentioned, for be, let's say, completely blockchain, let's say, ready.
Yes.
Yes, let's say.
Yeah, well, and I would hope any project that's delivering things that have monetary value to be doing the same thing too. So it's a very important part of how we set some of these things up. Some of the activations that we're pulling in are also 100% secure. Some of which we had these like physical trackers that you had to actually be within the geofence and scan those physically to actually activate. So, but yeah, no, I think these are all part of the building blocks of building like a really strong, secure ecosystem.
Yeah, because okay, and one of the last questions is about the IDO. Do you have a, let's say, are you going to IDO? Do you expect to be a, let's say, publicly traded, let's say, company like on DEXs or SEXs? Do you have any type of strategy?
As far as the scale of the business and where we're planning on taking it, we do want to we do want to move as much into the decentralized protocol level for POPs as possible. And so we're looking at different strategies of doing that. I think there's a lot of good evidence to suggest that, I mean, especially for community participation and content moderation and like localized content moderation, that having some form of a like DAO infrastructure would be very supportive of that. It also allow us to be flexible and, you know, not have all the decisions run through the board meeting or through the team meetings that we do have. So that flexibility makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it's very open right now. We want to be as decentralized as possible. And I think what makes the most sense, you know, 2 years from now, once we hit the scale that we're hoping to hit, there might be new and innovative models on top of what's already been created that, you know, I think we're going to kind of play it by ear. And so but yeah, I think what's paramount though is that the community feels like they own this more so than anything. So whatever model is the best representation of that in the security side of the coin or non-security side of the coin, then we're going to pursue that.
Let's be honest. With all your Facebook background, I'm right now I'm getting the feel that you're taking the best out of the, let's say, Meta strategy, because I know their strategy. I do realize what they're doing, and also I have, let's say, close friends from Meta Engine GG also building the Metaverse engine. But yeah, it feels like you just take that beautiful cherry on top of that pie and just create that Illust, because it's the most important component of all of that metaverse experience. You're just taking like a Pareto principle. You're just taking the best part, the tastiest things out of that pie and creating your own project. It's looking like that.
Yeah. I mean, it came as a response from just seeing how the ecosystem treated creators. I think, you know, it wasn't as in tune with what the needs and the wants of the artist community were, especially at one point. I think at one point, the solution to creator monetization through Spark AR was to give more badges, more digital badges, versus to actually pay creators, which, you know, is just kind of tone deaf. So I think a lot of, you know, building this and also my business partners coming from the Snap ecosystem with Lens Studio and as a creator, and we really kind of surmised that we're going to exist, we're going to move into a world where the physical world is augmented. And how would we want to be able to participate in this world? Would we want to be able to, as a creator, publish freely on our own and be able to sell assets as we would in the physical world, absent of most gatekeepers? Or will we have to run it through some centralized service in order for us to even, you know, get more views or clicks or eyeballs or whatever it is without even being able to make money off it? And granted that there's NFT models that are being built into what Facebook's doing, and you know, it's all public information. But basically, this was always a response to what Web 2 was going to be building in their centralized structures. And now that we see the writings on the walls and how they're continuing on that approach, I think it only makes more sense for us to be as decentralized as possible and play with as many partners as possible. And there's a new initiative that we're doing at Illust called the Geospatial Registry that really focuses on the idea of establishing provenance for digital assets in the physical world, in a world where there aren't any gatekeepers, where we're able to actually and be able to attract this across different blockchains. And so the team is doing this. It's going to be a marketplace SDK where as soon as someone purchases an asset, they can immediately dictate where that asset might live in the world and start to kind of curate their own reality channel. And that can occur across Near, Solana, really any chain. Again, we're building this, most of the infrastructure on Polygon, Ethereum, but that goes back to the idea that we want the provenance side of the coin and the creation process to be as clean and as non-diluted by us or whoever's the one that's procuring the ecosystem in the first place.
Yes, it's a very beautiful decentralized strategy for let's say digital art, because I have never ever seen that type of understanding of decentralization for in that niche. Because let's be honest, I know a lot of guys very successful from NFT market, creating very beautiful NFT projects, sometimes successful, but they using just NFT as a, let's say, way of distribution their digital art, like selling the JPEGs. Let's be honest, it's yes, sometimes it's absolutely beautiful art, but still they don't understand the actual reason to create all of that decentralized space. And let's be also honest, sometimes art is it's not just art, it's a statement, and if it's statement, it should be censorship resistant. For example, let's say I don't know, do you recall, I was living in Latvia, and I have, let's say, all of that painful demonstrations in Minsk, near our border in Belarus. They actually I don't know, raping people inside, getting them inside that, let's say, police departments or whatever. A lot of ugly things going on, and I'm just dropped that, let's say, the jar with the blood. It was not blood. It was not blood. It was like syrup, but it's in the embassy. I just take that jar and drop that jar with the blood, with the glass all over. I'm just willing. Sometimes art should be that type of very very aggressive. I mean, they should let's say somehow bring that statement. And if you're bringing that statement, you should have that, let's say, ability to be not you should not be censored it afterwards. I'm willing to be. I'm willing to express myself in that decentralized space.
You bring up a really solid point. So the reason why the system is geocentric in the first place is because media has, just the very nature of media has been stripped of the original context in which a lot of these messages are being delivered. So when you see, say, for example, a lot of the artwork from the past was before there was mediated white walls in the gallery. You're actually experiencing it in location and scene. You have, the grandiosity of, say, the Medici family, and it's painted everywhere, where you can kind of see that their power reigns supreme. But then you also look at, like, the Native Americans and how they did their storytelling was based upon walking around specific locations, and the idea that locations really shaped how our brains are able to perceive and maintain memories. And the memory palaces are further examples of that. So all this being said, is the idea that bringing messaging and storytelling and experiences and art back to space gives us even more context and more of an emotional punch to the actual story that's being told. And so that's what we're kind of hoping with this idea of sharing our different realities and our different reality channels, is that we might be able to have a greater collective understanding of reality through our own individual stabs at trying to reimagine what the world looks like.
Yes, it's very deep. But also, I will also, as always during our discussions, will simplify all of that. Just from the weight loss perspective, it's just beautiful to have that gamification process where you are actually walking, just walking around beautiful locations and making, let's say, your 10,000 steps per day, maybe 30,000. Per day, because most of us having all of that immersive experience, sitting for years in our now we have, let's say, ability to play some games, actually losing the weight, walking around.
Totally. Well, I think the like what I was talking about before, it shapes the philosophy of what we're doing, versus it being, say, the practical applications. I think the practical applications of it is, people want to be humorous, and they want to put things in areas that make them feel like they're more hilarious, and people want to, feel like they're more intellectual and deliver content that seems that their content is inspired. And, I would say people want to use the tools that we're building as ways to harness their like inner creator, their inner intellect, their inner like messenger, and be able to share those with your friends. And in that in its own right, you know, we don't need to go back to, you know, how storytelling used to happen in the 16th century to know that like we're social people, and we want to be able to deliver messages in a way that are simple but super effective. And I think that's what this system that we're building is going to be really powerful for, is for kind of creating a really, really simple, easy to use set of tools for anchoring messages and experiences that could actually have utility, because you can get rewards from it, you can get redemption, you can get, you know, this kind of like loyalty pathway. But some of this could be really insightful, because you might be able to learn the local history of, you know, the places that you live or the places that you've yet to be. Or it might even just be for your friends, where you're like, hey, don't eat. I'm going to put in my content channel, I'm going to put, you know, a giant poop emoji right on this building, because you know, I had a really bad restaurant experience there. So if I'm following, you know, your map and I see, okay, like I could see this kind of like symbol that's just placed on this location, and I immediately know like that idea was communicated to me, that maybe I shouldn't eat at this restaurant.
I will put a title to the recording of that stream: extended reality metaverse enabler, because it's actually the best. Your pitch, your last pitch, is just the best way to summarize what is extended reality metaverse is all about. It's just it. Just because sometimes people don't understand all of that beautiful and complicated words, because metaverses, extended reality.
Yeah.
What the fuck is all about?
Yeah.
It's all about that. I could not, let's say, nobody on earth could, let's say, state it better than you. Just we will put that pitch. We will try to, let's say, we will add the title to that recording. By the way, I see you have that. It seems like platinum or silver YouTube button behind you. Do you have your own channel with hundreds of thousands of subscribers?
No. It's just some different teams that I've worked with in the past. I've just gotten these funny little was it flare or no, just the little trinkets. No, I'm not asking you to subscribe now to my channel. I do not have a YouTube presence like that. I'm more guess used to be more in the shadows. But I guess now that we're doing more public discussions, it's
no, you should stand up with your message. Is it what's the best way to follow you for our audience? For example, the people who is watching right now, Elmas Land, let's say YouTube channel. What's the best way to follow your project, to understand what's going on, your next steps, etc.
Definitely, our Twitter is the most current. What's going on with Illust, the projects that are going on, the partnerships that we're releasing. I would definitely say that that's going to be the best channel for us to keep on the same page, and that's just at ILLUST SPACE, and it's ILLUST SPACE, and yeah, that's going to be where we're most consistent and kind of letting everyone know what's going on.
And just in case some of, let's say, creators watching our channel right now and watching that video, what's the best way, let's say, to create some artwork or create some project with you, for example, if it's a government institution, or let's say a museum, or let's say the promotion company running some show, what's the best way to connect with you to, let's say, discuss the type of collaboration?
Absolutely. So we're actually right now in the process of testing out some new tools for creators, for really anyone that wants to start displaying content in the world. So have them send us a direct message on Twitter would be the most effective way. We're going through those. We're actually setting up. We're going to have we're running a test with 100 creators and 100 artists right now. So would love to sync with them to kind of roll out some of these tools that we're going to then eventually release in the app.
Thank you so much. We hope that Elmas Land and our, let's say, preparedness, gamification challenges will help you with promotion your ideas, bringing that ideas to our audience, and let's say expand your presence in the world. It's real honor to discuss all of that with you today. It's truly interesting because you actually summarize and simplify the understanding of very complicated, very interesting concepts and the final frontiers of crypto industry. So thank you for that, let's say, for your time. Thank you for that, for your presence today on our stream.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aaron. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.